Hello and welcome to the July 2022 Longevity Review newsletter talk through. So I will guide you through my review of all the exciting events which have happened, or exciting studies which have happened in the longevity field in the month of July. Once again, just like June's one, has been delayed due to me getting COVID back in July and everything sort of snowballing after that. But I guess better late than never. On the first day of September here. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Well, actually, with further ado, I'm going to just do plugs to begin with. So obviously I founded the Canadian Longevity Association. I would love for you to join us and to help us, in fact. You can go take a look at our sort of old website. It's been up there for the last year or so. We're just working on a new and better one, which will hopefully be available, well, I don't want to give a time frame, but hopefully we'll go live later this year. And apart from just hearing a little bit about us and getting news directly from Lifespan.io, you can also use the contact form to indicate that you might be interested in joining us. We also have a Twitter feed, which I haven't really used much. Actually, I'm using mine more now. Take a look. You can take a look at that. We've also got a YouTube channel, which this video, you might be seeing it on YouTube, because that's where we post, or I post these videos. As I just mentioned, we love to have help from as many people as possible as we get our association up and running. So if you have any desire to lend us a hand, please consider filling out the volunteer registration form, which just sort of basic information. That'd be lovely if you can join our slightly growing cohort of very useful volunteers. And finally, I've got a Patreon account as well. If you like these videos, like my newsletters, you can, buy me a cup of coffee or so. So far, got five patrons, but I'd love to get more. All money will fundamentally go towards the Canadian Longevity Association. Okay, plug out of the way. Are these plug for me out of the way, or for the Canadian Longevity Association out of the way? Because I just want to take a look here at the Canadian Longevity Spotlight, and this time I'm Rapamycin News, which is run by a Canadian living in California, but that still counts, still a Canadian. And Rapamycin News is probably one of the best resources on rapamycin and information about if you're considering trying it yourself. And this is not a recommendation to do so. I myself am actually going to be starting rapamycin, a little trial of rapamycin in a few days' time, actually, on the weekend, and I will be documenting my results. But lots of information, benefits, side effects on rapamycin, and their forums here as well for people to converse and share their experiences and learn from others. So definitely, if you have any curiosity or interest in rapamycin, then please do check out Rapamycin News. And if you don't know what rapamycin is, please do check it out. I think it is the longevity drug closest to prime time. Anyway, enough of the plugins or plugs. Let's get on stuck into the roundup. Now, I'll say straight away that it was a bit of a fallow month. I was kind of scraping around to try to decide on what should go into the roundup. Spoiler alert, August is the opposite. I'm about to start doing the August newsletter, and it was a blockbuster month. And it's going to be difficult for me to choose what the highlights will be, but here are the ones for July anyway. And starting with bioreactor-grown mitochondria, which basically, if you're not sure what mitochondria are basically power generating sources in each of our cells. And without mitochondria, we would not get any energy and we'd completely die, or we wouldn't live in the first place. Now, what the researchers here, actually from a company, this is, I suppose, the first paper on the subject, where basically they've taken sort of younger mitochondria and transfused them into someone's body or animal's body, and those sort of new, more youthful mitochondria actually managed to find their way to cells and improve things. So here, I've forgotten, where did they try this? So this was in this first paper, and there's also a press release you could read, which I've attached there. They supposedly a plethora of studies will be coming out, but this one looked at sort of brain tissue, mouse brain tissue, and this was healthy young mitochondria taken from the liver, and it was found to improve the mitochondrial function in older animals. As they say in the conclusion, this study for the first time demonstrates that mitochondrial transfusion significantly, so the P there means it's statistically significant, improves mitochondrial function via the upregulation of mitochondrial complex 2 protein subunit SDHB in the hippocampus, even of aged mice. You don't need to worry about what that all means. But basically, it improved the mitochondrial function, which is important because improved, well, I guess basically mitochondrial function is important, and its improvement is a good thing because it gets worse as we get older. So yes, interesting. As I say, the first time this has been done. So looking forward to future studies, and there will be future studies on this will be released. So I'm interested in finding out more about that, or looking forward to finding out more about that, I guess I should say. Continuing on here, so this is about stem cells, and stem cells have been used for a number of years now with sort of, I would say, mainly more middling results, not as amazing results as people hoped for at the beginning. But that to a large extent is due to the fact that stem cells don't survive long in the body, and also they might not be provide the best therapeutic results because they're just they're unchanged. They're just regular stem cells. Now, to improve the effectiveness of stem cells, there's the idea of manipulating them before injecting them into an animal. And that is what researchers here have done. So they've taken some umbilical cord stem cells. However, rather than just directly injecting them into in mice in this case, they down-regulated microRNA 206. I mean, I've never heard of that before. What is the specificity isn't that important, but the fact that they altered the stem cells to improve their mode of action or to improve their results. So by down-regulating this miRNA, they where's the so they had no here the untreated mice, I guess that's spontaneous activity disorder. The treated mice had no spontaneous activity disorder and had recovering and learning and spatial memory compared with the placebo, basically treated group. So by getting rid of this 206 mRNA, they reconstituted neuronal physiological function in the hippocampal region of aged mice with an increase of blah. Now, again, the details are not so much important. it's more the fact that they alter these stem cells to improve their functionality and their ability to medicinally improve things in the body. Again, early days, this was done in mice, but an indication of future potential. Now here, moving on from mice to humans, and again, I'm maybe scraping the bottom of the barrel, but if I pick this gene therapy just as an indication that of the potential of gene therapy, and this was just an example more than anything of the potential of gene therapy. In this case, it was to help with age-related macular degeneration, which currently does not have a cure. And here they, by using this gene therapy, again, I won't go into the details, it reduce the need of anti-VEGF injections by 80 to 90% compared to baseline treatments, and improvement in the central subfield thickness, whatever that is, occurred early and exhibited minimal fluctuation during 2 years of follow-up. The treatment was well tolerated, just a mild or moderate inflammation, so not too bad, but basically just an example of gene therapy, because I think gene therapy, maybe a couple decades hence, or certainly not immediately, but will play an increasingly large role in the enhancement of longevity. And finally, in terms of the highlights, here was a sort of a bit different from what I normally comment on, but this is quite interesting, that a device, basically a scanning device, or as it says here, engineers develop stickers that can see inside the body. So little stamp size ultrasound device, adhesive device that produces clear images of the heart, lungs, and other internal organs. So this would be something that you would just stick to your body, and it works for 48 hours. It can be worn whilst conducting various activities, including jogging and biking, and produce good images of the internal organs. Now, obviously, this is not directly related to longevity, but sort of knowing how our bodies operate, how the state of affairs, knowledge is power and all that. So a better means of looking inside our bodies, when more conveniently thereby, I imagine will be beneficial in the long run. Just something that provides more information if you wanting to understand the health of your body. So you can read the Science Daily review, or actually you can only read the abstract. Anyway, interesting how technology advances in different ways. Okay, now going to the sort of the meat, or the supplemental section, and skip over most of these. I'll just highlight a few. Firstly, in terms of supplements that you can get, I just want to mention that there are 3 reviews here of curcumin, which is the main active ingredient in turmeric, which is the yellow Indian spice used in curries. And I should say I don't take curcumin directly, but I have a couple turmeric and herb drinks during the day. I'm not quite sure, maybe between 2 and 4 grams of turmeric, which I'm not sure produces actually a very limited amount of curcumin, but still the beneficial things in turmeric. But some reviews here to take a look at, demonstrating also the benefits and also potential side effects of curcumin, though you'd have to take very large doses, it does appear. Again, won't go into that, but just sort of want to highlight that if you are interested in it. There are some reviews. Also, effective recombinant supplementation on exercise-induced muscle damage. It can sort of hopefully improve exercise performance, or at least delayed onset muscle soreness afterwards. Let's see what else. Again, most sort of studies in mice or whatever for various supplements. Yeah, moving on to resveratrol. Again, here are a couple meta-analysis, systematic review and meta-analysis of randomized clinical trials. So a couple here. This is just the full thing. I should just mention when they talk about reviews and systematic reviews, they're looking at not just one trial, but numerous trials, because quite often these studies are, or these studies don't have that many participants. Quite often be only a handful or 20 people or so. So quite often when these studies are published, it's, well, they're only too few participants, so they're not statistically significant. However, if you group all of the studies together, thereby creating, or thereby having a lot more participants and increasing the chances of reaching statistical significance, which is what they did here, which is something they've done here. I forget how many people would have been they've looked at in this for this review, but just looking at the highlights of it, it did seem to indicate that for these people who have cardiovascular disease, levels of CRP, reactive protein, and TNF alpha, basic indicators of inflammation, were reduced following resveratrol supplementation. And similarly, resveratrol was seen to improve endothelial health. Endothelial health basically is the inside our blood vessels, or the insides of our blood vessels. So our cardiovascular system, basically. And here, yeah. So the meta. Well, this is once again a meta-analysis. Showed that resveratrol significantly changed the concentrations of FMD. What's that? Flow-mediated dilation. I guess how easy it is for your arteries or vascular system can dilate or expand, which is a good thing. And ICAM-1, intracellular adhesion molecule. These things were improved, however, various other aspects showed no significant change. But in conclusion, the results of the study suggest that resveratrol supplementation can improve endothelial function, which could be important, especially in patients with cardiovascular diseases. Anyway, I take 250 milligrams of resveratrol a day, sort of a medium amount. Yeah, hopefully it's more of a preventative thing for my cardiovascular system, actually. Let's see, looking at other available supplements. Yeah, green catechin-rich green tea extract, reduced inflammation and fasting blood glucose. Is it going to open up? Yes, it is going to open up. Both in metabolic syndrome afflicted adults and also healthy adults. And I mean, don't take any extract. I just drink plenty of green tea. It's my afternoon drink. And where are the results? Yeah. Conclusions: dietary intervention with green tea rich confections in weight stable, healthy, and metabolic syndrome adults, decreased fasting glucose and intestinal inflammation, which was associated with improvements in fasting insulin. So, yeah, that's good. Have some green tea if you don't want to because actually taking concentrated supplements can sometimes be detrimental. Just off the top of my head, I remember reading about there maybe being certain toxicities with taking concentrated supplements of green tea extract. So I would stick to the brew myself. And again, just want to point out that, again, in my newsletters, everything that is in bold is a human trial. There's another one I want to point out. Just krill oil. So similar to fish oil, but unfortunately more expensive. Improved osteoarthritic knee pain and with mild to moderate knee osteoarthritis after 6 months. And results. So, I mean, switching to the conclusions, krill oil was safe to consume and resulted in modest improvements in knee pain, stiffness, and physical function in adults with mild to moderate osteoarthritis. And one thing that krill oil has, as opposed to fish oil, it also contains astaxanthin. They're not huge amounts. So, I mean, I take fish oil, but I also take astaxanthin. So, anyway, just pointing out something that seemed to at least work in older adults. And yeah, fish oil supplement on its own, I won't go into this one, but it was beneficial for responsiveness to resistance exercise in older women who are losing muscle mass. Continuing on, and just highlighting this because, again, I'm about to be trying out rapamycin. So there was a review here, a systematic review of how it affects age-related musculoskeletal diseases. They weren't sure, is long and short of it. I think it could be beneficial, but then, again, they always sort of say more work needs to be done. We'll see how my muscle mass is affected. But there's potential there. As other studies have shown, again, it's more a review, and take a look if you're interested on rapamycin. But other studies have shown that it certainly helps preserve muscle mass in older people. Let's see. What else? When I was not showing too many this month, again, due to, is this the one? Yeah, it is actually. But wanted to highlight the reproductive health section here because of 3 studies showing that resveratrol, nicotinamide mononucleotide, also known as NMN, and lycopene, all 3 of those available supplements improve mouse fertility. So if you are female and potentially wishing to extend your reproductive years or to improve the quality of your ovaries, then these supplements are potentially, and again, potentially, these studies were done in mice, potentially good for that. Again, also ties in, it was just resveratrol, as talked about before. Let's see, senescent cells, I mean, usual studies. I think most of these are using dasatinib and quercetin. D and Q are friends for disc degeneration and hyperinsulinemia. Is there anything else? Yeah. Oh, just a kind of interesting one that supposedly stress response and sleep quality hormones in men and women improved after sleeping in a bed that protects against electromagnetic fields. I never actually got around to reading that study fully, but sort of a bit of interesting news there potentially. And just one last thing: if you're concerned about photoaging, I think about skin creams. I think skin creams involving retinol. I think they decided that So yeah, you don't need to go to really extremely strong strength because both, I think, both 1% and 0.3% retinol concentrations were similarly effective at remodeling photodamaged skin in an in vivo model of long-term use. So also, use of 0.3% retinol was associated with fewer adverse reactions when applied daily. So no point going higher than 0.3%. Probably better on the wallet as well. Anyway, I think that is pretty much. I mean, this, I could spend a couple hours talking about every single study here, but I think I will leave it for that. So I can now get stuck into working on my August newsletter. And I tell you again, sneak preview, it is going to be a blockbuster. Some really exciting studies there. So I will probably talk more than half an hour on that one. But for now, once again, thank you for listening. And once again, if you're interested in helping us out, the Canadian Longevity Association, please do get in touch. And otherwise, hopefully enjoy the last days of summer and stay safe and keep well. Cheers. Bye. Oh, last thing. Any questions, please contact me if you have any questions at all. I'm more than happy to help. Okay, cheers. Bye.